Okay. Unfortunate start to our halftime show there, Kevin. But to make a long story short, there was some good and there was some bad from this FIU team. We only really got to see the good at the end of the first half compared to what we saw for all of the first quarter and the half of the second quarter. It's slowly getting better, and now FIU is kind of setting themselves up for what could be a good second half as they get the ball to start things off.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to recap a little bit of it.
Yeah.
FIU's offense looked really good towards the back half of the not good, not really good, but they looked better towards the back half of the second quarter. I mean, Kirk Cignetti, their head coach, Indiana's head coach, mentioned their team did not play good in those final 7 minutes or so, and I would agree. Keyshawn really looking a lot better. Only 2 attempts, but still, I mean, when you have 30 rushing yards, you'll take that any day of the week. Shamari getting some good runs in there as well. Flex, a little bit interesting that he's not playing. I would have to assume he's injured.
Yeah.
Because they put Shaborn Demps in the game, who would be their 4th stringer, I would assume, in this scenario.
Yeah.
So a little interesting there. But Curtis Roke is a very good quarterback, just really looking at their side very quickly.
Yeah.
They have over 200 yards of offense, 243 to be exact. FIU just over the 100-yard marker, thankfully, with that Rocky Beers touchdown, which the first touchdown by a tight end this season. Last year, their only touchdown by a tight end came in the last game, and it was a Rocky Beers touchdown.
Yes.
So they get that burden out of the way. So a lot of good there, I guess, if you want to say so. You have to feel pretty good when you're going into this second half. Reggie Peterson's been completely quiet, yet to record a tackle, but JoJo Evans, who we have spoken about multiple times, CJ Christian, those guys leading the way on defense. So
neither defense, for that matter, has really made a big play so far in this game yet. No turnovers. Penalties were somewhat limited for both squads as well. Obviously, that one controversial call of Rourke, whose elbow looked like it went down before he fumbled the ball, which continued the drive. And then you saw that amazing catch on the 3rd and 20-something to extend the drive. That's probably a top 10 moment for Indiana. Gosh dang it. But no, definitely the first quarter FIU on offense and defense looked slow. But towards the end of the second half, they started to pick things up, play their style of football.
Yeah, you gotta look at those final 7 minutes and really feel good where you're at in terms of where the offense was. Kiwan definitely making some bad. I wouldn't even blame it all on Kiwan.
Yeah.
Offensive line really just not looking great out there. Made some really bad decision making there. We saw Kiwan really going at Travis Burke.
We did.
Towards that middle of the game.
Yeah,
Kiwan was trying to go for, I believe it was a design run on a pitch play or some sort of play there, and Travis Burke just completely missed the tackle. He just completely ignored who was coming at Kiwan. Kiwan is, I think it was a sack. But you got Eric Rivers, Desna, Rocky. You're getting your core guys getting the ball a little bit. Dean Patterson as well with 1 reception for 3 yards. So not a great first half, but definitely the back half of that second quarter looked a lot better. And you're kind of hoping that's what you're going with in this second half of action. And just quickly on the Indiana side of things, Jalen Walker, the JMU transfer, looking real good with 6 total tackles. And Aiden Fisher, a big guy, number 4, another JMU transfer with a linebacker with 5 total tackles. So we'll see how things go. Reggie Peterson right now really needs to step up.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the games that you usually see him really thrive in, just hasn't done it yet and yet to record a tackle. So, yeah.
And like we had mentioned earlier, Lexington Joseph, only 1 carry, -4 yards. They're running an interesting rushing attack. You have a lot of Owens, you have a Lawrence. We've got to see a bit of Demps, not a whole lot of flex. And like you had mentioned earlier, maybe it's injury related, maybe it's just something we don't know. But it's really interesting to see if he gets more carries in the second half.
Yeah, I'm going to be intrigued to see what happens, and we'll find out on Tuesday what's up with Flex.
Yeah, and
maybe we'll get some sort of update post game because it's weird that he starts the game. He was the starter. He was their starter in 2022, ran over for 500 yards. I always found it a little weird that they were going to try to go with all 3 running backs, something that Mike McIntyre, I don't believe, has done in a very long time in his systems. We did see that with FIU in the Butch Davis era, but again, completely different staffs. These are max guys, and I'm very intrigued to see what the second half looks like. And honestly, what Reggie Peterson was telling us, just looking at the defensive side of things, the Indiana offense really went 60% run. Yeah. And, a lot of these pass plays were just big chunk yards. Those 12 passes, but, 19 rush attempts in total, which included 3 from Curtis Roker himself. So we'll see what happens in the second half. You got to feel decent where you're at right now, but definitely a lot to swallow. Just a lot of bad luck. There was that play that looked like it was going to be a sack for Passmore. I don't think he ended up putting the knee down, but there was a fumble in there as well. I mean, a lot of unluckiness, and obviously that one-handed snag, which there's nothing you can do there.
When a team like Indiana makes mistakes like that, you got to capitalize on them if you want to stay in this game. They haven't so far. We'll wrap it up there for the halftime show. Your score: Indiana 21, FIU 7. The Panthers will get the ball to start off the second half. So we'll see what they decide to go with, what tempo they decide to go with there to begin the third quarter. Apologies for the technical difficulties on
we'll be fine
in the start of the halftime show. We're going to be good. Hopefully, we have some good stories to tell for the post game show, but we'll see. So until then, I'm Jake. That's Kevin, and Paws up.
Paws up, baby.